Hey everyone, Steven here from Level 1 Sword. It's time to share some good news about a video game publisher. Nice change of pace, right? Oh, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And with all that nonsense out of the way, it sometimes amazes me how things really are just a simple matter. If you're a restaurant that makes good food at a good price, provides good service, and the word gets out about you, chances are you'll be successful. If you're a company that makes automobiles that are of quality workmanship at a fair price that don't spontaneously erupt into flames, you'll sell plenty of cars. And when you're a video game company that owns several popular and highly regarded intellectual properties, and you make good games out of those properties, your profits will rise. Within the last year, we have received Monster Hunter World, the Resident Evil 2 remake, and Devil May Cry 5. Now, the Devil May Cry sequel is something that fans have been asking for since the questionable reboot of DMC, so that game's existence only made sense. The RE2 remake has been in the works at Capcom for some time now, and thankfully they didn't show us any of the game until it was good and ready at last year's E3. Monster Hunter World is the latest entry in the long-running Monster Hunter series, and is to date the single best-selling game ever produced by Capcom. Thanks to these three titles, Capcom has made record-breaking profits for the second year in a row. Allow me to grant some perspective on this turnaround by winding the clock back only a few years. Back in 2013, Capcom was struggling financially. They only had $152 million in the bank, which really is not much for a global company. For comparison purposes, Grand Theft Auto V took $265 million to make. Capcom didn't even have enough cash to make a game of GTA's caliber only 5.5 years ago. And we've received other great games recently too. Mega Man 11 finally was released after years of hiatus for the series, and Resident Evil 7 sold 6.1 million copies. If that's not the comeback story of the decade for video game companies, then I don't know what is. So here comes the real question. If Capcom had to get to such a low point before they finally turned around and realized they aren't making money because they aren't giving fans what they want, is it going to have to get to that point for other companies? I'm looking at you, Konami and Square Enix. Konami has had tenuous relationships with its creators, resulting in two of its flagship IPs, Castlevania and Metal Gear Solid, as either defunct or mismanaged. Square Enix, while it's in much better shape than Konami, is still not as great as it once was. This is the same company that used to put out 3 Final Fantasy games per console generation, and now they struggle to get 1 or 2 out. And while yes, we did finally get Kingdom Hearts 3, it took far much longer than it should have. I know, they had to switch engines mid-production and had to start over, but this is still a problem. They revealed the game back in 2013 and it took over 5 years to get it into our hands. That's just insane! As for the Final Fantasy VII remake, who knows when we'll actually be getting it. I want to end the video by saying thank you to Capcom. Thank you for listening to your fans. Thank you for giving us some amazing games recently. And thank you for being an example for other video game publishers and developers to follow. With some humility, maybe they too can turn their fortunes around.